So we're here today talking about yoga mats and whether in fact you do actually need to purchase your own yoga mat or can you use something from home. Now there's a few different ways to approach this, and initially I don't think that you do need to invest in a yoga mat. I think it's important to find out what you want and what your requirements are before you invest in that decision. So initially it is perfectly fine to use just the carpet, or if it's tiles that you have at home, that's fine to use that, perhaps with a towel or maybe a thin blanket over underneath the area that you want to work on, so that there is a little bit of cushioning there. However, once it comes to the process where you need grip, you obviously want to remove that layer so that you still do have that grip and you're not sacrificing the grip and slipping in the pose if you're using the incorrect surface, I suppose. So if you get to the stage where you do want to invest into a yoga mat, I recommend one of the main components for me is that there is cushion, there is support in the mat, but also that there is quite a bit of grip. So this is something that you'll need to actually feel yourself. So I would recommend going to the local sports store or the local sports warehouse and actually being able to feel the yoga mat. So you want to make sure that you've got at least 5 mil of thickness, but if comfort is more important to you, I'd say there's also 10 and even 15 mil yoga mats. However, once you're getting into the higher cushioning, you can also be sacrificing the grip on the yoga mat. So you want to make sure that it is mid-range in both of those two categories. So it is quite cushiony, but it also does have quite a bit of grip. Now this one I did actually order online. This I probably don't recommend doing, because unless you know of a specific brand that you really like and you find it online, that's fine. But with this one I hadn't actually tried it before. The cushioning is good, however the grip is not as grippy, I suppose, as what I would have liked. So that's not one of my favourite mats. This one I did purchase from the sports store. It's one of the Nike yoga mats. It is quite thin, but it is quite grippy. So it is a fairly good mat, but again, probably not one of my favourites because I find that it is a little bit too thin. This one, on the other hand, is a fairly cushiony. It's about a 5 mil mat, and I do find that it is quite grippy. So if you are looking at purchasing a yoga mat, those would be the two main components. However, as I said, you can also just use the surface that you have at home and just a towel or perhaps a small blanket over top. If you have anything grippy at home, perhaps you can just use that instead. So yeah, that's the tips for purchasing a yoga mat or for using one from home.